Why is it that there's so many amazing businesses out there that do incredible work, but they constantly struggle for clients? I know when I was coming up, I thought that the quality of the work that you did was directly related to how easy it was to get clients, how easy it was to retain clients. And you find out as you get older that that's not exactly the way it works. I'm going to share with you a pretty personal story about how I learned this stuff, and hopefully you can kind of shortcut this and just skip ahead from all of the mistakes that I made along the way. When I started out my career, it was in 3D animation for the educational market for the most part. I worked at probably, as far as I know, the only animation studio in West Virginia. We did Pixar-style animation. Incredible work. It was lots of fun. It existed at that time with things like cable in the classroom and direct order, like videos that you could order through the mail and then play them in class, and PBS to a certain extent, and all these other kinds of platforms. And then, of course, over time, those platforms kind of change, and the market kind of went away. And I learned that despite our incredible work, it's not necessarily enough. From there, I went to computer animation and presentation stuff for attorneys. So I worked at a company where we did, believe it or not, we actually created PowerPoint presentations for attorney, because that was considered in the early 2000s, right? That was considered a really high skill. Attorneys paid lots of money to do that kind of stuff. And we did incredible work. We also did forensic animation, and we shot lots of video for depositions and interviews and things like that. And again, despite the fact that we did incredible work, it was always a struggle, and I'm sharing this with you because you're probably in a similar situation if you're a business owner. The work doesn't come easy. It doesn't, despite the fact that you work so hard and that you're so good at what you do. Hey, real quick, if any of this stuff resonates with you and you're looking to get more attention on your business so that you can kind of grow your brand and generate more revenue, but maybe you don't want to ask any public questions in the comments or anything, that's no problem. Just send me a text at 304-853-5522, and me or my team will be happy to reach out and help. But I did notice that some people were good with clients, good with getting clients. I worked in a company for a while that did some news related stuff, but mostly did like television for traditional commercials. And it was around this time that I started diving into digital marketing and learning all of that stuff, and really kind of honing my skills on that, on things like how to create websites, how to do email marketing, how social media works. And I had the great opportunity not long after starting there that one of the clients that I worked for hired me full time to be a marketing director as an IT company. And I worked there for close to 10 years. I think it was around 8 years. And that's where I really discovered what marketing was all about. And the fact that having the best product and having the best tools and being the best you are at what you do isn't necessarily enough to grow a business. It was there at that IT company, and there's a lot of different IT companies. We were able to grow that business to the point where in 2019, that business hit the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies. And to my knowledge, there's no other West Virginia IT company that's ever hit the Inc. 5000 list. And I was the marketing director at that company when that happened. And we started out with things like email marketing, SEO, websites, and social media. I learned all of these kinds of things and learned how to draw attention on what you're doing so that your prospects can learn what you're doing and use your services. So I wanted to help other businesses do the same thing. So it was 2 years ago that I launched my own company, Joe Justice Media, with the goal of helping businesses in and around the Charleston area and all over West Virginia grow their business, get attention on their brand, show the world what they're doing using primarily digital video. I've tried lots of different things, and I just noticed that digital video is the most effective tool for marketing, and I'm really good at it. So I thought that it made sense to start a business doing that. And then, you have to be able to run a business. Those are all completely different skill sets. And I'm kind of learning in real time. Like I say, I've only been in business for 2 years, and there's been so many things that I've learned. I mean, just things like understanding taxes and how to pay those, how to, pay as little as possible through using expenses and filing all of that stuff, bookkeeping, B&O taxes, property and appreciation and all of these things, the paperwork that you have to fill out, the red tape that's involved with things, what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. All of that kind of stuff. Real growth happens when you move through each of those stages with intention. I've seen it all. I've been doing this for 25 years. Started out with, the yellow pages and local TV ads and newspapers and things like that, moving into email, moving into social media. Now, AI, who knows what's next. So the tools evolve, but the mission never changes. Get attention and build a real business. So this is Joe Justice, the Kanawha Valley Hustler, reminding you to hustle hard, hustle smart, and hustle with a smile.